It's 7:30 time for the call out zoning board meeting to order. We call out on May 27th, 2025, 7:30, zoning board meeting. So look at what you have before us for tonight.
Right, the first is an application from Detweiler Contracting LLC for a variance pursuant to Article 3, Section 3-3, Paragraph A, yard regulations, from the required 100-foot front setback from the center line of any right-of-way to the front property line setback to a proposed 50-foot setback from the building setback line to the front property line setback for a new home. This property is identified as tax county number 124C00-01-025, parcel record number 37735, is zoned agricultural and is located on the east side of Route 722, Cal Road, at the intersection with Heron Drive, County of Mecklenburg, reference deed book LR 25-1168.
All right. Heard what we're agreeing on. Anyone having discussion?
Yes, we have Mr. John Detweiler.
Huh?
We have someone speak. Mr.
Yeah, so what we're,
Come up to the mic.
So we've got this property on Cal Road, and we discovered with our 100-foot setbacks, it's going to require us to remove some Leyland cypress trees and some pine trees, which makes a nice privacy border in the back of the property. So that's why we're trying to move this up just a little bit to keep us from destroying the tree line in the back of this property.
The tree line in the back of the property, is that close to your property line?
It is on our property, yes. But there's houses in the back of it, and we don't really want to move this house back into the trees like that. Mm-hmm. It's a nice clear lot. We'd like to stay outside of it. The size house that we're trying to put in and the 100-foot setbacks puts us into the trees.
Yeah, any complaints from neighbors, discussion, or emails?
I guess in the flags you got on there, that's where you plan to put the house.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Y'all haven't had any feedback on that?
No, sir.
Okay. Y'all heard discussion.
So,
You're asking for a variance based on not taking down trees. Is that the only reason? Is it any kind of?
Pretty much, and it puts the house, with the way the property is located, it also puts it back on a slope. And another reason is there's two houses directly behind this property. So if we remove those trees, we're basically building right in somebody's front yard.
What would be your distance from the rear setback?
We're well over 30 feet. If we go with if it stays with the 100-foot setback, it puts us into I want to say it was right around the 40, 50-foot range from the back property line.
Okay. Did you have a survey done?
Yes.
Did you submit a copy of the survey, or? I didn't see that.
He had called earlier and asked about bringing a plat, and I wasn't able to get back with him in time to tell him to bring it. I just told him to check it out. I apologize for that. I know that Robert did go out and meet him at the property and stuff, and they measured everything out.
Okay.
How deep is that from 722 back to your property line? How far is it? You still got a plot on it?
Like the actual property, I'm not sure what the depth of that is. I do have that plat with me out in the truck, but I'm not exactly sure what that side measurement is on that line now. But our house that we're looking to build is 32 foot wide plus an 8-foot front porch, so that puts us to 40 foot. And it pretty much eliminates any backyard if we go with our 100-foot setback.
From looking at your drawing, I'm guessing the step 32-foot house and then the 8-foot front porch. And is that your steps coming off the front?
Yes.
If you did the steps coming off the side of the porch, would that give you, how much more room would that give you?
Maybe 3 or 4 feet. That's it.
When I measured from base here to the flag, from the actual, where the ditch at, it's only like 30 feet. He'd be supposed to be to the road.
Yeah, he's asking for 50 foot from the center of the road.
Yeah. So the pit might be at 30 feet from the edge of the road. What do you think, JR?
I'm a little bit concerned about the fact that it's right there at an intersection. You know, if it ever do anything to the road. I don't know if they will, but you know, you gotta take that into consideration too. Seems mighty close to the highway for me.
Seems like it's worked there.
I think it's gonna end up being too close to the highway for me, my opinion.
Think it'll be too close to,
Yeah, the first step will be too close to the highway. Because I measure it's only like 30 feet from where the code would go to the base of that flag we had up there. Walk it off.
And technically, we're supposed to, rule of thumb, we're supposed to give a variance based on hardship. I don't think removing trees is a hardship. The size of the property is not really a hardship.
I'll agree with that too.
When you purchase the property, you gotta know the size of the property and what you're putting on it. I can
Even
see-
75 feet would work good as far as locating our house in there. The 50 foot was really, is not a have to at all. The 100 foot makes it really tough on fitting a house in there because of the grade and the trees.
Well, what I would suggest is we table this. You do another variance application with Robert for 75 feet, because this was
Okay.
for 50. We'd have to pretty much clear this one, do another one, and come back at 70. 75 would be a bit better. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily a hardship. We usually grant these if somebody has a really steep slope on the property and they really can't set it back there without, thousands and thousands of dollars worth, or if, there were other properties adjacent to it that already.
It's also another concern of ours was how wet natured it is in the back, right in those trees. Was kind of another problem we had.
That would be my suggestion. That's what I'd probably vote for, is
Okay.
to table it and you do another one and we could talk about it then.
Okay.
I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, I was kind of tough on getting into them, just cut some trees down.
well, heard them, any more discussion on that? Y'all got anything else, JR?
We don't make a motion, it just gets deferred to that, right?
Y'all can make a motion to defer it.
Okay. I'll make a motion, we defer it.
Second.
Motion be made and proper second, that we reverted. Can you see the show of hands? A version has been denied.
The second case is an application from John and Kevin Gray for a variance pursuant to Article 3, Section 3-3, Paragraph A, yard regulations, from the required 100-foot front setback from the center line of any right-of-way to the front to the front property line setback to a proposed 70-foot setback from the building setback line to the front property line For a new home, this property is identified as county tax number 042-000-08-002. Parcel of record number is 39974. It's zoned agricultural and is located on the north side of Chaptico Road. Chaptico Road.
Charcoal, yeah.
At its intersection with Route 653 Mile Road, County of Mecklenburg reference D Book LR-25-1168. We have Mr.
Is
John.
there any discussion on that?
I guess I need to ask what I need to do. We have bought the property. When we purchased the property, the realtor that I was working with, I asked specifically, this is for a double wide to go on.
You asked speak a little loud, ask specific word.
I was asked the realtor specifically if a double wide could be used on this property, and her answer was yes. So I go with the realtor's recommendation. When we bought the property, there was actually 2 lots there. We submitted to the, I guess it was the county, for the well and septic, which they approved and gave us the diagram drawing up. We submitted for the building permit, which was approved. After that fact, I did not know about the footage regulation, and I found that out after the fact. So we're here to see if we can adjust that.
Who's your contractor?
I'm working through the mobile home dealership there in South Hill.
Which one?
Clayton?
Clayton.
Lacrosse?
Yes, yes.
So are they GC in the job, or you as the property owner GC in the job?
I am doing that. They told me that if I did that, I could use a lot of their contractors, which I've been doing.
So
Chigger is the one, if you guys know Chigger, he's the one that's actually done the work for me.
you said you got your well and septic permit, and then you got your building permit.
Correct.
Typically, you'd have to get a zoning permit in between the well and septic and the building, and the
That
zoning
was-
regulations would be reviewed. You'd have to draw it out and all of that.
Right.
That was something I was unaware of.
So did you
I mean,
skip
I was
that?
relying on my realtor to give me that information.
He got his permits to us, but what was given to us
Right.
was inaccurate
Okay.
after we had issued the permit.
But he did,
But
he did get a permit package showing him what the regulations were, and he submitted drawings.
He came in, the contractor came in, filled out the application and stuff for him, submitted everything, and submitted, the setback requirements and stuff, and we approved those based off of what he gave us, and they went through building, and then we found out later that the requirements that he gave us, the setback requirements, were not accurate.
Okay, so as it was submitted, it was appropriate, but in reality, it does not match what is submitted. Okay.
What doesn't match?
I don't have the application in front of me at the moment, but, what they gave us for the property, they were supposed to meet 100-foot setback and stuff, so more or less, I believe, maybe ag. And that was what was from the center of the road to the structure, what was written on the paperwork. So that's what we went off of.
So the contractor, he did the measurement and wrote it down.
He incorrectly gave us the incorrect measurements for the setback. So after the permits and stuff were issued, we found out later that they were not correct. So that's why he's here now trying to correct the fact of the incorrect measurements and why he's asking for a variance.
Did you submit a copy of the drawing to the contractor before he set the house?
Well, he's GCing it himself.
Oh.
He just said he's GCing it himself. He doesn't have a contractor. He's purchasing a mobile
he-
home
oh,
from Clayton.
okay.
He's GCing it himself. He's the contractor. It was
Well,
his
you
responsibility.
self-contract, okay.
It's as a self-contractor, it's your responsibility to check setbacks. Was that a clerical error? I mean, I'm not understanding what the mistake was. So when he submitted his drawing, he put in a measurement of 100 feet, but then,
And that's what we went off of.
right. But then how did we find out that it wasn't 100 feet? The,
Robert was handling that, so please bear with me on it. I'm trying to remember. It was brought to Robert's attention. I'm not quite sure who brought it to his attention that it was because the double wide was set. And once that was set, then it was brought to Robert's attention that it was not meeting the required setbacks. So Robert went out, he looked at everything, and as he was notified of it, it did not meet the required setbacks. So he got in touch with Mr. Gray's person who set the house and told them that we were going to have to do a variance. And this was the reason why, because of the size of the property, the size of the house was not meeting the required setbacks. So that's why we're here now with them trying to ask for the 70 feet instead of the 100. And he will be coming, he also has a variance for next month too, which does not have a house on that property. And so we've kind of learned from this mistake here. So he will have a variance for next month to ask him for, which I will get the paperwork on. And the property is right next door, is adjacent to this one.
sure. What gives me heartburn is I just sat here and we denied one for somebody else who wanted 75 feet. He's doing it before. Now we got a house here. We're getting a cart before the horse. And, you know,
I understand.
Well, I tried to do everything the way I was asked to do it. And
So you're basically getting directions from the mobile home place,
correct,
what should be done.
correct.
yeah, they should not, I mean, if they're going to GC the job, they should GC the job. You know, I think them not GCing the job is just a way for them not have to deal with us.
Take responsibility,
county,
yeah,
yeah.
get it off them, get it on
They
you.
can do away with the responsibility. They can unfortunately put it on you. What's the other property that's being,
When I bought the property, it's two lots. They're side by side. Lot 1, lot 2. The one that the house is currently on is lot 2. And
so
lot-
the adjacent property, you're putting a house on that one as well?
Eventually, after this one.
Okay, so these are
There's no
for sale?
permits-
Correct.
There's no permits for the second one yet.
Okay.
There's no permits done for that one.
So this one, we're saying was accidental. Is there a reason why the other one couldn't go in the proper place, or are we getting too far ahead by asking that question?
I don't think that even matters. I mean,
Okay.
this one's not in the right place and you know, it's,
We go off the information that's provided to us.
yeah, I think I mentioned to Robert before, I really wish we'd require a site survey. Yeah. I know it's gonna cost folks more, but what's cheaper, a site survey or taking this house down and moving it? You know?
I can
Just
bring
like
it up to Robert again.
The lot next door, is that your lot? You plan to put a house on?
Yes, sir. Yes, there are two lots there. It's lot 1 and lot 2.
Yeah, it's starting to be a issue too, like the second third we had, like this, you go ahead and build it, and then you want to permit later.
Well, it's asking for forgiveness instead of permission.
That's right.
That's my opinion.
Well, that's something I don't do because I always try to do the things correctly. And I did everything that I was told to do in
So
the
like-
order
so
that I
like-
was told to do. And
The drawing you submitted on your copy, did that have a layout?
I
100 feet
I
center line?
submitted what they all asked for. Yes, we got the survey and I think you've got the survey. And I've got a copy of it.
So at the end of the day, in your drawing, you intended to put it at 100 feet in your drawing, right?
I intended to do it exactly the way I was supposed to. I mean, I'm not trying to cut corners, not trying to do
Well,
anything.
I'm just trying to boil it down to, if you did it there, whoever dug footings and set the thing, did they check? I mean, I'm just trying to figure out.
I can't answer that. I don't know.
So the mobile home did the footing. They're contractors.
Their contractor, correct?
And you submitted a copy of the drawing to them.
Yes. They had everything.
That's tough.
Where does it sit at right now? What's the distance from the road? Robert went out there and looked.
I
Did he
know-
measure it? I mean,
I think Jamie and you go out,
Yes, it's 70 feet.
that's when it came back in and they corrected it
Okay.
for 70, because that's what he's asking for. And stuff on it.
But I think, to my opinion, if he submitted a copy of the drawing to the contractor before he set the house, and they had the 100-foot setback, he come and said it's 75 before he considered the 100 feet.
Robert went out for the first one, to check everything, but the paperwork that was given to us, had 100-foot listed on it. And when Robert came back after going out with Mr. Gray to the property and measuring everything, came back and put on there that it needed to be 70 feet. That the 100-foot was not gonna work. But like I said, we went off of the information that was provided to us.
So it's almost sound like whoever did the footage just went on. They didn't follow the rules. They didn't pull no string. They didn't measure nothing. They just went on and started digging.
no, that would be a GC. The GC would make sure of that.
Yeah.
A GC would actually. Yeah, any good GC worth his salt is going to make you get a survey. It's just.
So what we do with something like this?
Mike can make a motion. I don't feel comfortable making a motion.
Neither do I. And especially we got another lot beside it too.
What do you think,
I
Jim?
mean, he can build that one correctly on that.
He's in a hard spot. I'd like to help him out. I say he's been put in a very hard spot. I'd like to help him out any way possible.
Well, I would tend to agree he's in a hard spot, but I wouldn't say he's been put in it. I mean, if you hire a GC or you get a survey, you wouldn't have these problems, right? There's steps to this, and it looks like to me he's going to build another one, and these are for sale, and he's doing this as a business venture. And when you do business ventures like that, you just
Well, the second one, obviously, we can certainly do that. I mean, the first one, hopefully we'll get a little grace on that.
that's up to you guys. You guys can make a motion.
I'm not gonna make a motion, not on that.
So what would it be the option if you don't get the variance? What's the next steps?
You can make a motion to
Yeah.
approve it, deny it, or pretty much it.
Then you have to deal with the county.
Well, no, you would be essentially moving the house.
Do what now?
You'd essentially be moving the house. Because you can't finish it and you can't get a CO.
That's right. If we do that, like I say, you can't get a CO to it, so what good is that gonna do?
How about your well and septic? Does it impact your well and septic?
The septic's already in, well, it's not.
The septic already been put in too?
Septic's in, yes, sir. That's in the ground.
Did they go ahead and do all that even after they found out that?
That was done prior to us knowing. Like I said, we thought we had everything done correctly, and they were doing their job.
Typically on your perk, isn't it gonna show you drain field location in relation to the house? So is the
Yeah,
drain field in the right place now if the house is not in the right place?
that's what I'm thinking too.
That'll have its own, whoever did the perk work, they're gonna have their own, they'll pull from this property, PN over, set the corner of the drain field, and then they have coordinates off of that. So
Right, but what I'm saying is,
they don't use the house as their anchor, is what I'm saying, right? So
they shouldn't, but if they assumed that the house was set in the right location,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. That could be an issue, but that's
Right.
not really our issue, right? They use the property pin or corner of the property to pull and
To
then
pull
they-
to it. So
yeah.
if they did it the correct way, you should be able to move the house, and the house would not be on top of the drain field. But if they didn't do it the
Correct.
correct way,
Yeah, if whoever did well, I'm sure more likely whoever did the perk work, you can do it.
Did you have a drawing of the septic tank permit?
Yes, sir.
You got that with you?
Yes, sir.
I'm not sure. We've given variances for 25 feet, but I just can't remember us ever giving one for somebody that.
See, the thing about, yes, they got another house coming, we passed that, so we want to do something else different this time.
And the fact that they pushed him in the direction to be his own contractor is just.
oh man,
Well, if you could see to do this, that would certainly not happen again.
See this Carver Cove Road right here? Mm-hmm. The drain field back here.
Assuming that's the well.
Yeah, that's what we do. Well up in the corner here. Well area is 15 feet from the road. And then 50 feet from it.
All right, so let me do some math here, so. I think it's, if he's 70 feet from the center, take 25 off of that.
If you bring that up there, see that the well, that got 50 feet plus, so that gonna make it even closer.
Well, no, I mean, if they got the well and the septic in the right, position, I mean, that's probably a 3C well where they grout it,
Yeah,
protect it.
a 3B, yeah. Do y'all wanna see the,
so it looks like the drain field is to the side of it. So if you
yeah, see this Carver Cove right up there, see the drain field back there, yeah.
drain field is
Seemed like to me that the contractor set the house, he should know about that.
Already with the drain field. And if you get the house, that's it right.
no, they move the house back. You should be
Who said
okay,
that?
because here's the road, here's
Checker.
the house.
Yep.
If they move the house back a little bit, it'll just run a different angle to the septic tank. But he won't be on top of the drain field, will it, JR?
This is a for sale property, and I'm doing this with my Georgia Dale.
He's got to maintain that 10 feet away from that septic tank's already in place, right?
Yes, sir.
He's got to maintain that 10 feet right
And
there.
you see the drain field already in.
Yes, sir.
But that's a minimum. We'd have to see because it's 86 feet from the back line to the house.
So if you move it and go closer to the septic tank, closer to the septic tank, wouldn't it?
It just depends.
They're gonna be 10 feet on the septic tank.
All septic systems, you gotta be 10 foot off of foundation, 20 foot off of base.
Yeah.
So,
don't have a basement, he can be 10 feet, right? Got a basement, got to be 20.
At least 10 for foundation, 20 for basement.
Yeah, 20 for a basement, yeah.
You know, I don't know where the septic tank is. You know, when they make those drawings right there, they give them an area they can set it in, and it might be close to that. You know, that might.
Well, he's already done that and had it inspected, so the inspector's been out.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I don't know.
Well, who was your AOC that did this?
What, I thought Susan, I think a lady name on there.
No, Robert Johansson. Bob did it. Yeah, Bob's done his part, but.
And how much work has been completed? The foundation's in, the house is
The
set?
house is set, foundation's in, the septic's hooked up, electrical's hooked up. We haven't run the power to the house yet. And basically, we need to put the brick foundation and the porch and the deck on, and the well. That's pretty much where we are.
So who brought to your attention you had to get a variance for what you had to do?
Okay, what happened? There was a memorial on the road of some young man apparently had been in a wreck and died there. And literally right in front of the house. And I just simply didn't care to have a memorial sitting in front of the house. So I removed that. And the gentleman that called in is the gentleman that brought this to their attention. I mean, didn't remove it with malice. I mean, it was just something that's something I just didn't care to have in front of the house.
For y'all thing?
Well, and the rest of the story, gentlemen, is I'm not doing this to make money for myself. I'm doing this with my son and my son-in-law to help pay for my grandchildren's college education. That's all this is about. I mean, my son and my daughter both have 3 children each, and a college education is extremely expensive these days, and I'm just trying to help them defer some of that expense by doing these. This is something I was unaware of. I am aware of now, and it certainly will not happen again. And the second lot, if we can put it in the right position, wherever that may be, we will most certainly do that.
Do I hear a motion on it?
I don't feel good about this at all, but I feel he's definitely in a hardship situation, but there were some gross errors made from the beginning, as you will tell. But due to what has already been built and constructed there, I mean, I just can't see any common sense way of working around it other than allow him the variance. And y'all may feel different, but that's my opinion.
You don't think that they should have checked all that out before they?
Definitely.
Huh?
Definitely feel like it. But it's already happened, so, you know. I mean, I'm kind of a common sense person with all that stuff in place. I don't know what it would take to justify, you know, the correction. Unless y'all got a better plan. The septic system's there. I can't see, you know, that being modified. The house is sitting there. So it's just a matter of the setback being adjusted. I feel he's in a hardship situation. I just hate that somehow I know that it happened that way. guess I'm sympathetic in the with the situation he's in.
He said he got another lot right there. Well, it is. I seen another cleared lot there too. What gonna happen there?
I think he learned his lesson though. I think he learned his lesson that you need to go into the contract and not, try to do it yourself.
Well, second lot, we'll certainly make sure we are in accordance with what you're asking for.
I understand what you're saying about being sympathetic and common sense. And I do find it believable that he was unaware or ignorant of what was happening. My only concern is, what precedent do we set by approving it for him and then having other people who may be less honest that just want to say, oh, well, we didn't know any better, and the last person who didn't know any better got one free bite of the apple. Not that I'm trying to hurt this gentleman, but I'm concerned about setting a precedent, and I certainly don't want to have someone review.
I don't want you to spend any
I see what you're
unnecessary
saying.
money. I'm
Well,
sympathetic to
like
that
I
as
said,
well.
John, I'm not, this is not for me. I mean, I've retired and I'm just simply trying to help my children and grandchildren. That's all I'm doing. And it was something that I was totally unaware of. I am now, and it will not happen again.
Well, my question would be, who laid the footers off? I mean, if they known through zoning it had to be 100 foot, I mean,
Well, Chigger's done all the work. And I-
Jim Tanner, yeah.
No, did you say Chigger?
Yes,
Chigger Tanner.
I think he means Roger Bigby that sets the double wides.
correct. That's the gentleman.
Oh, okay.
I think that's who he's
Clayton,
referring to.
I don't know their.
He doesn't necessarily work for Clayton, he works for himself, but he does a lot of setting of mobile homes and modulars. I believe, gentleman out of North Carolina, correct?
I don't know where he's at.
I know you're talking about
Yeah.
But he is the one that does the work for Clayton. That's
I
correct.
think his name is Roger Bigby.
I only knew him as Chigger.
I could be mistaken, but okay.
We don't hear a motion on nothing. Chairman, I guess we,
Did Mr. Price make a motion? If you did,
I'll make a motion, we approve.
y'all can always do a roll call if you want, since he made the motion. We can do it that way.
well,
Do we get a second?
Unless somebody else makes a second motion.
got a motion on the floor that we approve it. All in favor?
Taking a second first. Anybody second?
Well, tell them about second, that's right.
That's what I'm saying. Somebody can second it, or we can try to do a roll call.
Motion on the floor, do I hear a second?
Have to do a roll call.
Mr. Price, this is roll call to approve the application based on the motion by Mr. Price. Mr. Price? Yes.
Say approve.
Okay. Mr. Carter?
No.
Mr. Merrick? No. Mr. Davis?
No.
Mr. Terry? Application is denied.
Both have been denied. Your variance have been denied, so
So what would be my next step?
we'll check with them.
Okay.
Just ready to have anything else before us?
Just the approval of the minutes from the March 25th meeting.
What's that now?
The approval of the minutes from the March.
Approval of minutes?
From last.
So I heard a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion made to approve the minute. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and proper second that the minutes of last meeting been approved. So that, I think we have anything else before.
That's the last item on the agenda, yes.
But we will have a meeting next month, like I stated, for the next variance for the property on the one beside this one.
Is that something we can address with Robert as far as,
Um,
can we require that at the
he-
county as far as a survey to make that?
I will try to get as much with him.
It'll fix a lot of these problems and people won't get in these situations where they're hung up, you know?
Talk with him, and I will tell him as soon as he's able to reach out to you gentlemen to try to go over it. Hopefully, maybe we can bring something up and try to put something in ordinance to, request it. But I will get with him and see what I can find out for you, okay?
And I also had to act up too, when people come in and do their application, when they go to the lot, have all four corners of it measured, then when he go there, he can tell right offhand what they got.
Well, they get the site survey, they require a site survey. They bring in a site survey saying, hey, this is what we're gonna do. And then, you know, if they change that after the site survey, I mean, you know.
And then, and maybe, get this gentleman here, getting his paperwork started, so he may be back in front of you next month also.
Okay.
All right? So other than that, that's all we have for right now
Okay,
and stuff, but once I get all the information, I will get it out to you, gentlemen.
okay, thank you.
We need a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Do what then?
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion made and proper second, we adjourn the meeting.